Hi friends, today we are going to see the past year NEET questions for the chapter Plant Kingdom, and today in this video we will cover part 2. Okay, now let's begin with the first question. See, this question was asked in the year 2000 and now let's read the question. Okay, a research student collected certain alga and found that its cells contained both chlorophyll A and B as well as phycoerythrin. Okay, now we have to tell which family does this algae that has been found belong to. So what all it contains? It contains chlorophyll A, it contains chlorophyll B and phycoerythrin. Okay, fine. As we already discussed in the earlier part 1, we saw that different algae belongs to different colors, and that color dominance is because of the pigments that are present in the algae. Likewise, this phycoerythrin, if you see, it is responsible for the red color. It is responsible for red color. Okay, and therefore this research student, the algae that he has found belongs to the family Rhodophyceae. You can clearly mention it from the pigment here. You can identify which algae belongs to which family. Okay, so out of which you see chlorophyll, Basilarophyceae, all these are green algae. Phycophyceae, you know, it belongs to brown algae. So due to the presence of phycoerythrin in the question, therefore the correct answer is option A, Rhodophyceae. Option A is the answer. So here they have clearly given you in the description part, green algae, it will contain chlorophyll A and B. Apart from that, it also has carotenes and xanthophytes. Then in 4-Phyceae, you can see it belongs to brown algae. It will also contain A, C and xanthophytes, carotenes. Apart from that, phycoerythrin gives red color, which belongs to the family Rhodophyceae. Okay, to your right side you can see the image of the red algae here. Here they have given you that Rhodophyceae are commonly called as red algae, we all know that, and the pigment, the correct name of the pigment is R phycoerythrin. So that makes the algae look red in color. Therefore the correct answer to this question is option A, Rhodophyceae. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. This question is very simple. Okay, now let's read it. This question was asked in the year 1999. Okay, 1999. Fine. Columnella is specialized structure found in the sporangium of dash. Okay, for this you need to see this diagram to your right side. See, you should know what is columnella first, right? You should know what is columnella first. So here if you see, columnella can be described as a dome. It's a sterile dome shaped structure found at the tip of the sporangiophore. So you can see the sporangiophore here, and you find the columnella at the tip. Now this columnella functions for nutrient exchange between the active protoplasm, which is below, and the nutrition for developing spores. So this is a function of columnella. So this diagram, this picture clearly resembles Rhizopus, since it's got rhizoids in it. So the correct answer to this question is option B, Rhizopus. Okay, you all know Lothrix is green algae. Spirogyra cannot be the answer. Okay, Spirogyra is a filamentous green algae, and columnella is only seen in rhizoids. So Rhizopus is the correct answer. The correct answer is option B. Okay, fine. Now let's move to the next question here. See, this question was asked in 1998. Lothrix can be described as what? Fine. We have seen a lot about Lothrix. So Lothrix is a green algae. Okay, it is a filamentous green algae, and their habitat is they thrive in low temperature of spring and winter. Apart from that, they will have a specialized cell. Okay, they have a special cell for attachment, and that is called as holdfast. That is called as holdfast. Okay, so as we already discussed, it has filaments, right? It has filaments, so it's a filamentous algae. So option B or option D, it should be option A, B or D. But the important thing to be identified in Lothrix is, see in the solution they have given that Spirogyra is a filamentous alga lacking the flagellated reproductive stage. So here the correct answer is option D. Lothrix is a filamentous alga with flagellated reproductive stage. Okay, Spirogyra will lack it, while Lothrix will contain flagellated reproductive stage. Okay, so you don't have to get confused here. In the solution part they have mentioned Spirogyra here, but Lothrix is supposed to be flagellated. They have clearly mentioned it is lacking. So this particular explanation goes for Spirogyra. But the correct answer for Lothrix is filamentous alga with flagellated reproductive stage. So as we already saw, Lothrix has a special cell for attachment, and that is called as holdfast. To your right side, if you see, you can see the picture of the Lothrix over a moist stone. The growth can be seen. Okay, now you understand the difference between Spirogyra and Lothrix. Okay, this is just to differentiate and show. You don't have to get confused. They are just differentiating between Spirogyra and Lothrix. But the correct answer is Lothrix is supposed to be flagellated. Now let's move to the next question here. A very simple question again. An alga very rich in protein. I think all of you must have guessed the answer by now, because we already spoke about it a lot in the part 1. We all know that people, those who travel to a long area, or people, those who travel to space where they have no proper access of food, where they will not get much nutritious or variety of food, but they still have to maintain that stamina, and they still have to have that strength to cope up the circumstance and situation. Therewise, they have identified and they have discovered this particular food which is obtained from alga, and they are used as supplement for these kind of people, those who travel to space, so that this nutrition present in that food will help them get that nutrition and will help them survive that situation. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D, chlorella. Chlorella and spirulina are the two important algal food that is used as supplement for many people. And here, if you see, this chlorella will contain 45% protein. It is very rich in protein actually, and other proteins like other sources will be lipids, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals are also present in the algal food. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D. And to your right side, you can see the image on how it will be in the final form. Usually it is taken in the powdered form, just because it has to be easy for consumption. So therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D, chlorella. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Fine. Lothrix filaments produce dash. This question was again asked in 1997. Okay, we've already discussed in the earlier slides what is Lothrix. We all know that Lothrix is a green algae, and its habitat is it will thrive in low temperatures. Okay, and it has an important special cell which helps them for holdfast. That is, that cell will help them give grip and attachment over the surface. So Lothrix is all about that. So here, and we know it's a filamentous algae. So now these filaments, what do they produce? The correct answer is isogametes. Okay, the correct answer is option A. And isogametes, when I say isogametes, they are fusion of gametes with similar size. Okay, so here they have clearly mentioned sexual reproduction in Lothrix is by isogametes. Only similar type of gametes called isogametes will be produced. Okay, we have different types, anisogamy, oogamy, but here Lothrix filaments will produce isogametes. Okay, so the correct answer to this question is option A, isogametes. And to your right side, you can see the diagram of isogamy, anisogamy. Anisogamy, you can also call it as heterogamy. Okay, why? If you see, they are of dissimilar size. Right, they are of dissimilar size, that is why the name. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. Fine. Brown algae is characterized by the presence of dash. So this question was again asked in the year 1997. Right. Now coming to the solution part, as we already discussed, every algae has a unique color, and that color comes from the pigment present in their body. So here they are talking about brown algae. We all know phycoerythrin is present in red algae, hematochrome, phycocyanin, they are all different kinds of pigments. So this phycocyanin, if you see, it is for the presence of blue. Okay, hematochore is actually a mixture of carotenoids. It's a mixture of carotenoids, carotenoid pigments. Okay. Okay. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is fucoxanthin. I told you clearly which pigment resembles what. This is for red, and this is a mixture of carotenoid. And here, if you see, this phycocyanin is a dominance of blue color. It resembles blue. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is fucoxanthin. Now, you can ask me, what does fucoxanthin stand for? Fucoxanthin is a xanthophile with the formula CH2. Okay, I'm sorry, it's C, it is not CH2, I'm sorry, it is C42, I'm sorry, H58 and O6. So this is this is how you resemble fucoxanthin. Fucoxanthin has a formula of C42, H58 and O6, and it is found as an accessory pigment in the chloroplast of the brown algae. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option B, option C, fucoxanthin. To your right side, you can see the different brown algae that are present in the environment. Okay, fucus, alaria, sargassum, these are examples of brown algae. Now, let's move to the next slide. Okay, look at this question here. Blue-green algae belongs to, this is once again a simple question here. So, you need to identify which category belongs to blue-green algae. Blue-green algae belongs to, anybody guess? No, it's prokaryotes. Okay, the answer is B, prokaryotes. Why? See, blue-green algae is also called as cyanobacteria. The other name for blue-green algae is cyanobacteria, and they are usually prokaryotes. As you all know, prokaryotes lack a proper cell membrane or a well-defined nucleus. Yes, but if you compare it with eukaryotes, eukaryotes will have a well-organized nucleus. Especially if you see Rhodophyceae, Chlorophyceae, they are all eukaryotic family, right? Algae is eukaryotic. So out of the options given here, eukaryotes, Rhodophyceae, Chlorophyceae, they all resemble eukaryotic family. The leftover option is prokaryotes, and hence the answer for blue-green algae belongs to option B, prokaryotes. Okay. So to your right side, you can see the image of the blue-green algae over the surface of water. This is how it will cause pollution, and thereby it will not allow any oxygen to enter into the water, and thereby causing a nuisance for the organisms living underwater. Okay, so this is also called as algal bloom, or you can call it as blue-green algae bloom. Okay, fine. So therefore the correct answer to this question is option B, prokaryotes. Now let's move to the next question here. Okay, let's read it here. The absence of chlorophyll in the lowermost cell of Lothrix shows what? This is another important question. This question was asked in the year 1995. Fine. So, when the chlorophyll is absent, okay, we all know Lothrix belongs to green algae, and it will compulsory have a chlorophyll pigment which contributes in one way or the other for the green pigment. So here they are clearly mentioning that what will happen when there is an absence of chlorophyll. What does that depict? What does it tell you when there is no chlorophyll? So the correct answer to this question is beginning of labor division. See, only when there is a formation of another new organism, the organism will undergo drastic changes in order to compensate, and it will release a new organism. Therefore, functional fission, tissue formation, cell characteristic, it cannot be, because these are actually a part of an organism and it is going to be there always. But beginning of labor division is once again leading a process towards a new generation, and therefore the correct answer to this question is option D, beginning of labor division. See, here they have clearly mentioned lowermost cell in Lothrix functions as holdfast. We saw in the earlier description that Lothrix has a special cell for attachment which will help the organism attach itself to the surface in a very strong manner, and that is called as holdfast. Now this is meant for attaching filaments to the substratum. Substratum is nothing but the surface which shows the beginning of labor division. Okay, now you get the answer. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D. Now let's move to the next question. Agar is commercially obtained from. This is a very simple question. We had discussed about it in the earlier parts, if you remember. So agar, if you see, it is a solidifying agent, right? It is a solidifying agent, especially used in microbiology, where they have to culture microbes for research and study purposes. So this, if you see, it is similar to a catalyst. In chemistry, you know what a catalyst is, right? A catalyst will not interfere with the reaction, but it will speed up the reaction. It's just a kind of booster. Likewise, this agar, if you see, it will not interfere with the growth of the microorganism. Thereby, it will only help the medium to get in a solidified form and help the microorganism grow. Now here, if you see, it is predominantly or commercially obtained from the family red algae. Okay, the correct answer to this question is red algae. So here you can see the agar is obtained from several members of red algae like Gracilaria, Geladium, and predominantly it is Geladium. Mostly it will be Geladium. And these agar gels, if you see, they are used extensively in the growth of microorganisms. To your right side, you can see the image of a Petri plate, and in that you have the medium. The medium that is prepared is poured into the Petri plate, and it will allow to be remain cool. And once it is cooled down, the medium can be used to inoculate the microorganism, and the microorganism will therefore grow in it. Okay, the correct answer to this question is option A, red algae. Now let's move to the next question here. Okay, let's read this question here. In chlorophyceae, they are talking about green algae. Sexual reproduction occurs by what? So what are the different methods it undergoes, or different processes it undergoes? So the correct answer to this question is, see, when I say green algae, mostly or predominantly they show all forms of sexual reproduction. Iso, aniso and oogamy. Now you have to know what is iso, aniso and oo. Iso means, as I already said, fusion of gametes of similar size. It is fusion of gametes of similar size for isogamy. Anisogamy means fusion of gametes with dissimilar size, and oogamy is once again fusion of gametes with but here if you see in oogamy, morphologically and physiologically they will be different, and it will be motile here. But the only difference between isogamy and anisogamy is, isogamy is where they are morphologically similar but physiologically different. Okay, you have to know this. And oogamy is a fusion of large immotile female gametes with small motile male gamete. One will be motile and the other will be non-motile. So we saw it in the earlier slides, a diagram, right? So here to your description part, they have given you what does isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy mean. Okay, oogamy will be dissimilar in all respect. One will be motile, one will be non-motile. One will be in large size, one will be in smaller size. But this criteria doesn't go for a iso and aniso. Iso means same. Aniso is they are morphologically similar but physiologically dissimilar gametes. Okay, the correct answer to this question is option B, isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. Fine. Now let's move to the next question. Look at this question here. Which of the following cannot fix nitrogen? Okay, very easy question because the options are very clear here. Here if you see, you have to identify the algae, because algae cannot fix nitrogen while a bacteria can fix nitrogen. So out of the 4 options given here, you need to identify which one belongs to algae. The correct answer is Spirogyra, because nostoc and Anabaena are supposed to be blue-green algae, and the other name for blue-green algae is cyanobacteria. They belong to the family Prokaryotes. And Azotobacter is purely bacteria, and that can naturally fix nitrogen. The leftover one, Spirogyra is a pure algae, and algae naturally they do not have the capacity or the ability to fix nitrogen, and therefore the correct answer to this question is option C, Spirogyra. Because they are autotrophic in nature, they show in every characteristic of a plant, but they do not have a proper root system where they can fix in nitrogen. Okay, the correct answer is option C, Spirogyra. To your right side, you can see a microscopic image of Spirogyra. Okay, now let's move to the next question here. In Lothrix or Spirogyra, reduction division, that is meiosis, occurs at the time of dash. So this question was asked in the year 1993. So here you need to understand what is reduction division. Okay, fine. The correct definition for this is, in Lothrix, meiosis, that is reduction of division, occurs in zygote, that is 2n undergoes meiosis. 2n undergoes meiosis to form 4 haploid nuclei of 2 types of strains. So mitosis is followed by meiosis and it will form, see, this is followed by mitosis and it will form 8/16 haploid strains. So the correct answer to this question is zygospore germination. That is what they have given in the description part also. Plant Lothrix is a green algae and Spirogyra is also green algae. They are a gametophyte. They produce zoogametes which fuse to form a zygospore. So this reduction division occurs at the time of zygospore germination. Okay, the correct answer is option C. Now let's move to the next question. Chloroplast of Chlamydomonas is dash. This question was asked in the year 1993. So, as I already told you, there are different shapes that different bacteria have. Okay, I will show you the solution where you can differentiate now. See, Chlamydomonas has a cup shaped or it is single cell. Okay, Genema is actually a satellite or a double cell. Spirogyra, if you see, it is spiral or it is single cell. Lothrix is collar shaped and again it is single cell. So these are the shape and the number of chloroplasts that are present in the different members of the algae, and that will be different for each algae. Okay, chloroplasts will differ for each algae, and here you can see the table which shows you the different number and the shape of the algae that they have given here. So therefore the correct answer to this question is option B, cup shaped. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Pyrenoids are a center for formation of dash. So this question was again asked in the year 1993. Okay, before we go directly into the answer, you should know what are pyrenoids. See, pyrenoids are the centers of carbon dioxide fixation. Okay, apart from that, you can also describe it as liverwort, and this, if you see, it is present within the chloroplast of algae and other hornworts. So here this pyrenoid is responsible for carbon dioxide fixation. Okay, and actually the main important thing to note here about pyrenoid is they are not membrane bound organelles, but they are specialized area of the plastid and they mostly contain sugars. Okay, so as pyrenoids are clear matured form of sugars, so the answer is well visible here. The answer is starch. Right. So once again I'll tell you what is pyrenoids. Pyrenoids are the centers of carbon dioxide fixation within the chloroplast of different algae. Okay, they are actually not membrane bound organelles, but they are specialized areas that are present in the plastid and they store in form of, and they will contain a lot of sugars. Therefore the correct answer to this question is option D, starch. Okay, so this is how. So since I mentioned sugars, to the right side you can see what are the sugars that is present inside the pyrenoid, right? It has ribose 1,5-biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. So these are the sugars that are present in pyrenoids. Therefore the correct answer to this question is option D, starch. Now let's move to the next question. The product of conjugation in Spirogyra or fertilization of Chlamydomonas is dash. So they are asking the final product. What happens or what is the product after conjugation takes place in Spirogyra or after fertilization of Chlamydomonas? So this question was asked in the year 1991. The correct answer to this question is, can anybody guess? The correct answer is zygospore. Now you know what is zygospore, zoospore, oospore, they are all motile spores. But here is something different called carpospore. Have anybody heard about it? I will tell you what it is. See, carpospore is actually a diploid spore. Okay, it's a diploid spore produced by red algae. Okay, here if you see Spirogyra and Chlamydomonas, they are not red algae. So this is exclusive for red algae, and after fertilization of algill's carpogonium, that is, carpogonium is a female organ present in the red algae. Okay, it will subdivide to form carpospores. So this is an exclusive feature of red algae. Apart from that, the correct answer to this question is zygospore. Here if you see, they have clearly mentioned that gametes fuse to form zygote, which develops into a thick walled resting zygospore. So what is the product after conjugation and fertilization of Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra is zygospore. Okay, fine. Next question. The common mode of sexual reproduction in Chlamydomonas. The answer is, so this question was asked in the year 1991. I think we all can make a guess now. The correct answer is isogamous. So we already discussed earlier what is iso, aniso, but apart from that, you need to know what is halogamy. Iso, we know it is fusion of two similar gametes. Aniso is fusion between morphologically similar but physiologically different gametes. Oogamy, they'll be dissimilar in all aspects. Okay. Now, there's something called halogamy. Can anybody recall what it is? See, when I say halogamy, it is a fusion of two young cells, mostly the common mode of isogamy. Okay. In isogamous, it's talking about the mature cells, but halogamy, the only difference is that the fusion of two young cells, most common mode of isogamy. Mostly it resembles isogamy in nature, but the only difference is it's a fusion of two young cells. Okay, now you understand the difference between iso and halo. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option A, isogamy or isogamous. Okay. So look at this question here, next question here. Sexual reproduction involving fusion of two cells in Chlamydomonas. So this question was again asked in year 1988. Okay, now let's come to the solution part. This is once again an easy question. Sexual reproduction involving fusion of two gametes. The correct answer is isogamy. I think we spoke about it a lot in the earlier slides. Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, they were the common things that we were talking about. So isogamy of motile cells, isogamy of non-motile cells. They are doing in the diagram below shows you two things. One is see, if you look at A, it talks about isogamy of motile cells, and if you look at B, it talks about isogamy of non-motile or immotile cells. So what happens is, isogamy refers to the form of sexual reproduction involving gametes of same size. They'll be morphologically similar and physiologically also similar. Since both gametes look alike, they cannot be classified as male and female. Instead, the organisms undergoing isogamy are said to have different mating types. They will be usually dependent upon the signs that we use. It can be plus and minus strains. Okay, so based on that only they undergo sexual reproduction. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option A, isogamy. With this, we complete part 2 plant kingdom questions. We will all meet in the next part. Okay, thank you.